Hi, today I'm going to take you through the student section of the Nelson eCollection student management platform. This will include how to upload students individually, bulk upload students, edit student profiles, view student reading histories, and also a couple of key extra features we have included in the platform. First thing you'll need to do is come to our homepage, which is cengage.com.au/primary. Log in using your email and password, which will bring you to the subscriptions page. Click Manage under eCollection. This will direct you to the student management system. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can identify the Students section by clicking this tab. The first key feature you'll be able to use is the search button at the top of the screen to identify or locate a particular student. This can also be done using the columns first name, last name, or filtering through to find the particular class that they are a part of. The first thing we're going to do is upload a student individually. This can be done by clicking the Add Student button on the right-hand side of the screen and clicking Add New Student. Please make a note that you will need to have available licenses to be able to upload additional students to your subscription. If you need to, you can click the Add License and go through that process of purchasing additional licenses. There is also a video available for this. Go ahead and click the Add New Student button, bringing up this screen here. Everything with an asterisk next to it is a required or mandatory field to be entered in, such as their first name, last name, date of birth, gender, year level, reading level, bookshelf range are not mandatory, as well as English as an additional language or dialect is not mandatory. The student login details are mandatory. As you can see, the system generates a username automatically for you. This ensures that there are no double ups and there's no errors occurring when inputting that information. This can be changed. However, you may run into doubling up and not being able to upload. The password can be a minimum of 4 characters long and any variety of letters, numbers, and special characters. You can also make all students the same password to make it easier for you when uploading. There's also the student class. This can be added later on as well. So from there, we can click Add, and that student has now been successfully added to your school subscription. And as you can see, there they are. By clicking their name, you can see that student's information and reading history, which we'll get into a little bit later. The next thing we're going to do is do a bulk upload. This is generally recommended at the beginning of a new school year, at the beginning of a school subscription, or if you're adding an additional class to your school subscription. This will save you on time as opposed to inputting individual students one at a time. Follow the steps available to bulk upload. Download the Excel file, complete the mandatory fields, save the file to your system, return to the page we're on now, click Browse, upload that particular file, and then upload. I'll show you what that looks like right now. Click Download Excel file. This will be the Excel file itself. It has a few different colors you can see there, and the keys here. So blue columns are mandatory, green columns are optional, aqua cells are missing mandatory values, orange cells have an error that needs correcting, so the system will notify you that. And anything with an asterisk, if no value is entered, the username will generate one automatically, as I previously spoke about for you. I'll show you an example of how this will look. Once all information has been input, you can then save that to your computer and then return to the previous screen. From there, we can browse and upload the specific file that we're after. Click Upload. And as you can see, those students have now been successfully added to your subscription. That's how to add and upload multiple students to your subscription. The next thing we're going to have a look at is editing a student's profile. Again, we can do this by searching in the search bar and locating that specific student. It will give you in this area here, key piece information such as their first name, last name, a classroom they're associated with, their current reading level, and any additional groups that they are a part of. First thing we can do is edit the student's profile by clicking the edit button or pen, and this is the actions on the right hand side of the screen. And as you can see, that information is available for you. We can change that if the student has changed year levels, for example. If they have troubles with their password, you can change that. You will see that the username is grayed out. That means that the student's username is not able to be changed. So that's one way to edit a student's profile. The other way is by clicking the student's name, and gives you student information. In here, we can see the bookshelf or the titles that are available to that particular student when they open up their bookshelf and want to read their ebooks. Currently, they're able to read from pre-level 1 all the way up to 30. This can be manually adjusted by grabbing the toggle and dragging it down. Next time the student logs into their ebook bookshelf, this student will be able to see from level 6 to 18. And everything outside of that won't be available to them. As we scroll down, you'll see a reading summary if they've opened any books in the last period of time, 7 days, 2 weeks, months, 3 months, 6 months, what classes they're a part of, any groups that they're a part of as well, and any sessions that they've been included in. So as you can see, this student is currently part of Mrs. Mack's Reading Challenge, and we'll get into that a little bit later. With the bookshelf, we can then just simply expand that back out if we want them to read everything. And there are no save buttons for this one. It does it automatically for you, so you don't have to worry. On the top right-hand side of your screen, it'll give you some more piece of information as to what the student's activity has been. Books open, any recordings, words have saved. There is a reading age here. This is based on a few different algorithms within the student's profile. And then you also have the reading level. This is, again, just an indicator of where the student is at, and you can do this automatically without having to save anything. The next piece of information is the reading history. So we can click reading history and get a better understanding of how that student has been reading and accessing the ebooks themselves. You have the options here as well of how far back to look, 7 days, 2 weeks, month, 3 months, and a custom date range. So this student may have been not reading for a couple of years as an example. So we can filter that through. And you can see what the student is now reading. We can also filter those by reading levels, and you can also clear those. The great thing with this, it tells you the particular book that's been read, what level, a reading age, any words that have been saved, and recordings as well. So if we select that particular book, we can see when it was opened, how long it was open for, the duration, the date and time, and if any words were saved. As you can see in this one, big machines in the air, no words were saved. However, there are recordings that we can listen to.
Aircraft, machines that fly. There are many kinds of machines that fly. These machines are all called aircraft.
So this gives you opportunity to listen to the students, and you can put it on repeat and play it multiple times. What you can also see is the words that a student has saved when accessing that particular ebook. And in this example, the student has read the book Honey and the word hives. So this may be something you can identify that the student is struggling with. It may be the definition, it may be the pronunciation, whatever it may be, you have that ability to access that information. Again, from here, we can also edit the student's profile like we previously did, and we can change a particular piece of information as we need be as well. Quick note as well, all the information provided in here is not accessible to the students. It is only available for teachers or educators that have access to this section. The only piece of information that the students can see is the bookshelf or the ebooks that are on their particular bookshelf. To go back to the students page, we click the students button at the top of the screen, or we can click it on the left-hand side as well. Another piece of information is that you can change their reading level while we're in this student page as well. And then another piece of information is also the actions button, where we can delete students if they no longer require access to the e-collection. This can be done by clicking the trash can on the right-hand side of your screen. Another option available also is clicking the tick box next to the student's name. This gives you a few features available to you. So you can add to, which involves adding a student to a lesson, class, or group. You can also download the student card for that student. This allows the student to have their username and password available to them, which you can download, print off, laminate, and pass that on to the parent or the student so they can access that at home for themselves. You also have the option, once you've ticked their box, that you can remove the student from the subscription. This will then remove them from the school's subscription. However, you can retrieve their data later on. The next feature we have is permanently deleting the student. This may be an input error, or the student has graduated and no longer needs access to the resource and you want to permanently delete their information. You can also go ahead and do that as well. To recover a student that has been accidentally removed from the subscription, we can click e-collection premium, and then we can click the not in subscription button. And this will provide you with the list of students that have accidentally been removed or have no longer required access. As you can see, students without active subscription will be deleted after 1 year. So if you want to recover that particular student, we can then go ahead, click their box and add them to the subscription. That student has now been added back to the subscription. There they are. And that is accessing the student section of the Nelson eCollection student management system.